Hey everybody, what's it, Fox Gaming here. So today I wanted to review the new Hunter's Fury gear set. This is obtainable to start with in Season 3, TU11, just via the Season Pass. You don't need to pay for the Season Pass. There are two tiers to it. The second tier is mostly apparels and caches and so on. But this particular set, as is true for the brand set and the exotics, are all obtainable just from the base version, and you only need to own Warlords of New York expansion in order to have access to that. Oh, there's a big stag that just ran right across my screen. So yeah, within I think like the first 20 to 30 levels you'll get all 6 pieces drop, and you'll also get the blueprints for this gear set. Now what I really like about Hunter's Fury is there are so many different ways you can play. You're not restricted to just one. So the build that I put together today is just like a go out there and slay build, but you could make an armor on kill version of this build, you could make a status effect version of this build, you could make a shotgun version. Works really well with the new name shotgun as that as armor on kill as well actually. You have a lot of flexibility. And it pairs quite well with certain exotics as well. So you know, this is just a day one build, just to more review the set and show you how well it works. I used this set to get me through all of the heroic content in the tower right up to level 81, and it did it with an absolute breeze. It fell a bit short in legendary because we played a lot more safely and sat towards the back, but for heroic this thing melts. It's such a good build. And just to confirm that for you all, we did actually get a day one completion, which was really good. So we were able to get the high-rise backpack trophy, which is awarded for making it all the way to the top of the summit. And we were able to get the Zenith apparel, the patch as well. So that was a really good run yesterday. I'm really happy with my clan for helping me out with that. So let's have a look at the gear, the talents then that we get with this particular gear set. The 2-piece gives us 15% shotgun damage and 15% SMG damage, which is great because that stacks on top of any brand set bonus that you get as well. So you can choose kind of whatever shotgun and SMG that you want, and you're going to have a nice little buff right from the get-go. The 3-piece gives us 20% armor on kill and 100% health on kill, which is also fantastic because you can just totally adapt this into an armor on kill set. Just by switching to gunner and running the mop, the new 612 named variant of that shotgun, you'd be on 40% armor on kill just like that. So it's really, and you could even stick preservation on the shotgun if you wanted to, as the talent is actually free to roll. You know, you're in a situation where you can get loads of armor back. So this is one of the stronger armor on kill builds. The 4-piece gives us the Apex Predator talent, which is kind of what I'm playing around today. Enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, and it's specifically that little symbol that you see on the right there, just next to Apex Predator. This amplifies your weapon damage against them by 20%. So we're already getting a multiplicative damage bonus just for being in 15 meters, which is pretty strong. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds. This stacks up to 5 times. So after 5 kills, you've got an additional 25% multiplicative damage that keeps refreshing every time you get a kill for 10 seconds, on top of the 20% you get just by being in their face. That's 45% multiplicative damage just for getting a few kills with this set. So it's pretty strong. It's definitely designed to get in their face and get up sort of, you know, close and personal, and obviously shotguns and SMGs work really well with that. You do have the chest and backpack as well, which have their own unique talents. The chest is, I think, the better of the two because it increases the stacks from 10 seconds to 30 seconds, so it means it's much easier to maintain 25% additional multiplicative damage from all of the kills that you get. You know, that is a triple sort of duration, so that's a really nice piece. But I decided to go a different route, and I'll show you why that is in a second. And then the backpack, which I don't think is particularly good, but it would work well with a status version of this, which I personally think, if you had a status crit chance damage hybrid, would also be really strong. Is Overwhelming Force. Increases the radius of disorient on Apex Predator kills from 5 meters to 10 meters. So yeah, you got a couple of nice little options just there. What I opted to do was to go for a Intimidate Adrenaline Rush build, because we all sort of know these quite well, and it does play really well into this build, as essentially alongside the 25 or up to 45% multiplicative damage, we're also getting 35% multiplicative damage. Again, this is amplifies. While you have bonus armor, amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. Because multiplicative bonuses stack really well with each other, I felt that Intimidate was one of the strongest ways to go with this. But you know, ultimately this build is so flexible, you can really do what you want with it. There's going to be so many versions coming out over the coming weeks, which I'm really excited to see. I'm running a Sokolov backpack to give me Adrenaline Rush, because this gives me the bonus armor to essentially proc my Intimidate. Perfect Bloodsucker would be great here as well. It pairs really well with this gear set, as the gear set and Bloodsucker both reward you for getting kills, and then you just beefing up your bonus armor ready for your Intimidate to continue killing. The downside to the perfect version of Bloodsucker, as it is on the new Bellstone gear set, and the one piece of that is armor regen, which I really didn't care for with this build. So I decided to go for all out damage, and from what I've discovered on Heroic, this works really well. Sokolov is of course the 10% SMG damage that stacks along with the 15% here, so that's another way that we're stacking our damage. And then I've got a Grupo Sombra chest. Now we have agnostic mods. I can put my crit damage mod on here, and as you can see, this is a beautiful roll. As this is an SMG build, it's very easy to hit the crit chance, but you absolutely want to be going for the 60% crit chance, or at least over 50 before you start looking at crit damage. So how I've rolled my gear pieces is essentially around those two factors. Crit chance on this with the crit damage mod, crit damage here, crit chance here, and of course the chest and backpack both have crit chance and crit damage. I rolled 1 to blue because 1, it gives me a stronger shield, skill tier 1 shield, and we are using the striker shield with this as well, so there is a reason to get this buffed up. Firewall gives us further damage buffs just for being within 10 meters. You get 10% from Firewall itself, and you get 11 or 12% from the shield if it's skill tier 0 or 1. So that's even further damage just for using a Firewall shield and then being within 10 meters. As you can see, it says 12% on the right side there, and that's being buffed by 1 skill tier because shields now go from armor. So you see it says skill tier 1 just there. Not only is that good for my shield, give me a more powerful shield that gives me more of a damage bonus and of course more health, it's also effective for Adrenaline Rush, as this gives me, well, Adrenaline Rush is bonus armor that is percentage based, so the higher my armor, the bigger the percentage of bonus armor I get, and therefore the longer the Intimidate is up. So having 1 blue on this build is fine. You know, this thing absolutely melts in PvE heroic content anyway. Oh, excuse me. So, you know, I felt 1 blue was kind of the sweet spot. I'm using the Dark Winter. I will be testing this out with the Backfire, the exotic SMG, but I don't think it's going to fit too well into my version of this build. I need to make a specific dedicated build for that. The Dark Winter, even though it's a 1200 RPM, so it definitely blows through its ammo pretty quick, is really, really effective with this build because we get the Talent Perfect Killer, which gives us 50% critical hit damage when we get a kill with a critical hit, and you can keep refreshing that with further kills, which of course is easier to do that because your critical hit damage becomes higher and therefore more likely to be the bullet that closes the kill. Because critical hit damage is all based on just your weapon damage, and we've got so many multiplicative weapon damage buffs, our crit damage ends up through the roof. Like it's actually insane. You know, I was hitting 600k crits with this whilst running it through the summit, and you know, you got to think this is a 1200 RPM weapon. You're firing ridiculously fast, so hitting those kind of numbers is insane, and you just melt through everything. So yeah, pretty straightforward build. I don't use a secondary here, but if I did, I would probably use the mop. I was also able to get the named card when you equip this in your hand. So when you actually have it in your hand, it just buffs your skill tier by 1, which is actually really nice for Pistolero skill-based missions. So if you have a look at my Hive cooldown there, it's 1. Now it's 2. So I've got an extra skill tier just having a pistol in my hand. So really nice little pistol that they added into the game there. I'm quite impressed with that. So that's the build. I've got a res hive because it is an up close and personal build, and whilst we do get the armor on kill, I've only got 20% total here. So, and I don't have any heals other than my firewall, so I'm going to be relying on getting kills a lot. And of course, if that backfires, we're going to need the res hive, and of course we will know about the striker shield anyway. So with that in mind, let's go and take her for a test drive. Let's go on heroic. For those of you that haven't seen the new directives, Fog of War is the same. Fragile Armor is an interesting one. Whenever you take damage, it applies a stack of Broken to the agent. Each stack Broken reduces an agent's max armor, and then using an armor kit removes 1 stack of it. It's a bit of a weird one. It reduces your max. We all know about Pistolero because that's there from before. Scavenger Skills is an interesting one. I feel this is going to pair really well with the new exotic chest piece, because you'll be collecting trophies from that as well. Skill cooldowns are only reduced by collecting skill parts from killed enemies and destroying weak points. Quite an interesting one. And then of course special ammo we all know and love / hate. I can't stand special ammo.
We need you to secure the memorial and remove the True Sun's forces.
This pairs quite well with somebody running Eclipse as well, because if the enemies are on fire or foam, they're not shooting at you as much, and it just means you can really clear up. So there's the mark above his head. Look how fast this thing melts. So we've got the Intimidate bonus there. I'll run around with my shield. And this is what I love about this build. There's so many options. If you wanted to go with Lady Death here or Chatterbox, all could work really well. If you wanted to go with a shotgun, you know, you've got so much flexibility. I'm going to keep my shield up because it's a little bit open here. But you see, look at these 655k crits. That's crazy, and a 1200 RPM weapon.
Got a visual on additional hostiles in the Memorial compound.
This damage is insane. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I know this is only a solo queue mission. We'll do one more area just to sort of showcase that before I bring the video to a close. But you see what I'm saying? Imagine this in the summit, where you're in an enclosed space. You know, legendary it didn't work so well. I will say that I need to come up with a legendary version of this build. It might potentially have more armor or something else. But for heroic content, I mean, one click in a gold bar like that without perfect killer procs is crazy. And I didn't have all of the stacks from Apex Predator. You see in the bottom left there where my buff is. I'm already starting to build those up. 688k per crit on a 1200 RPM weapon. It's crazy. It's so strong. I mean, I was able to one-click 2 enemies there. Ooh, that is not good. Foam is not your friend in this mission. But this is where Firewall is really strong, because things were quick here. You can get this off just to give us a bit of tanky. It's just, I think, it's all of the damage buffs. You've got to think we're getting damage buffs from so many different places here with this build. I mean, the shield here alone, if they're in that orange cone, if they're highlighted by that orange cone, you know that essentially you're getting 22% more damage because you're within 10 meters. 10% comes from Firewall, 10%, 12% comes from your shields. That's the 22% additive damage. You got 35% multiplicative, 20% from being in 15 meters, a further 25% from just getting kills, 50% critical hit damage just from getting a kill with this. It's just insane. Like, the damage is ridiculous. Actually, I guess we'll just do this this boss area as well, because I want to show you how well it potentially performs against a boss in a solo mission. The good thing with the shield is you get more damage based on how many more people are inside your cone as well. So it's 12% per enemy, which I think a lot of people forget. I know I do all the time. It's just crazy strong. Look at that. I didn't even need my full mag to kill a gold bar. And because you're getting all of this armour all the time, apart from when my shield broke because I got blown up in that earlier area, I've not even remotely come close to dying yet. 655k per crit. It's crazy. I just can't get over how good this set is. Dangerous player. Oh, that grenade. Yeah, so this is where it's going to struggle against heavies. This is where you want your AR builds, but, you know, ultimately, as is true for any solo build, bosses are always going to be the main challenge. General ad clear in Heroic isn't too difficult these days. Let's back up where I can. Break this down to get an extra bit of damage. Why are they all up there? You can try and get a bit more damage from just getting a kill. Shame I've not been able to show you all the disorienting yet. Really, dude? You really going to do me dirty like this? There you go, got all that armour back just from getting killed. Oh, as if their grenade accuracy is this good. I know that they nerfed the enemy's grenade accuracy so they can't hit you as well. I think that is not true at all, because that accuracy is ridiculous. Oh, we got it back. Nice. Absolutely murdered him once we got it. Ooh, actually land my shots.
All clear. I repeat, compound
well,
is
I didn't use my
clear.
res hive, so that alone has got to be testament to, you know, the fact that the builds does potentially work. Yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, I honestly, for Heroic Summit, this build is phenomenal. You just literally run from door to door, and if you used it with a Lady Death where you got the speed boost, it could be even better. I think the Lady Death probably would do a little bit more overall, and it's a little bit better for your ammo conservation because it's at 900 RPM and not at 1200. But I just felt the synergy with Perfect Killer on this build was ridiculous. If you do want the Dark Winter, it is a Dark Zone exclusive, by the way. But like I said before, the rest of this gear set can all be farmed purely from just doing a few levels of your season pass, including the blueprints. So yeah, I think the weapons are the most flexible part of this, but I do like this specific combo with the one blue. Imagine if I had, you know, one more red there, the size of those crits. You saw the damage, it's ridiculous. And you can literally go into a room and fire one mag of a 1200 RPM weapon such as the Dark Winter and kill 3 or 4 red bars in one mag if you sort of line it all up right with your shield and so on. It's crazy. You shouldn't be able to do that. So for general ad clear, this build is one of the best in the game. I don't mean my specific version of this build because it's a 1.0 version, but just the the Hunter's Fury gear set is one of the best, if not the best, in the game for just generic ad clear. So like clearing control points and speed running through missions. I will be using this build going forward. I absolutely love it. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear how you are all running the build, and if you feel there's any ways that I could improve mine. Yeah, let me know if there's any sort of variations that you think make it better, and I'll potentially get those into my 2.0 version. I've got a few more videos coming out for you all in the near future. Certainly for the new exotics, I'm just going to be grinding some XP today to get those, and I'll get that out for you in the next couple of days as well. Thank you very much for sticking through to the end of the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.